Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys.
So we have to start off with the OV update. We hear week to week. Tell us what you saw in that play at first. And just as an average fan, that wasn't a dirty play, right? It was just kind of an accident?
Yeah, it was. It was an unfortunate collision. I watched it a bunch and was, you're looking to see if there's any type of purposeful contact there from McBain from Utah. And I don't know. I just think he gets a little bit out of control with his skating and his route and where he was, and he was a little bit reckless there. But I don't think anything. When I watched it back was purposeful.
So he still had to take a beating, though.
He had to take his medicine.
He still had to take a beating, huh? Is that dude? I don't know. Forgive me, I don't know. Is that dude like known as being like a fighter or being like a bad guy, or did he just have to take his beating?
I think I give him a lot of respect and credit for stepping up in that moment with Willie, because that does earn you a lot of credibility around the league and with your teammates and that. I don't think he's known as a real quote unquote physical guy. He plays a hard style in that, but he sort of understood what went on there and why Willie wanted to, was looking to engage him because of what went on, and that's our captain. And so good on him for answering the bell.
Right. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Cakes is kind of known for being a jinx. And the day of the game, he was bragging about how Ovi never gets hurt.
I did.
Do you have
say
the
that.
audio?
No way.
I did.
No
I
way.
feel bad about it,
Hold
Coach.
on. You got to hear this.
Let me just say
I'm sorry,
this.
I didn't prepare. You see,
you
should have
told me.
I'm just thinking, it's my brilliance.
I've been the biggest Caps fan in this room for many years.
No doubt.
I love Ovi. He's my guy.
You should know better, though.
I guess I should know better, but he just seems so indestructible.
Right.
And you know that. You see him every single day.
Yeah.
Right. Do you blame Cakes?
Oh, please don't blame me, Coach.
That's putting some bad mojo in the universe.
Right? That's like talking when a guy's got a no-hitter. You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right?
We have the same thing in you never say the word shutout when a goaltender has a goose egg going. Like, you can never say it in the coach's room. You obviously never say it in the locker room. Like, you just do not use the word when a goalie has a shutout going through a period or a couple periods.
Right.
Yeah.
Valdez is scrambling. He's mad at me. Okay, I'm sorry for bringing it up. I thought maybe it was handy, but he'll find it at some point. Or
I won't tell him.
Yeah.
So what does week to week mean?
Yeah. Should we panic?
Yeah. So he's going to be out for a little bit. He's going to see our doctors today, and then we'll have a better idea of timeline and the injury, and I'm sure we'll be.
A little bit. That sounds like a long time.
What do you mean?
When you say he's going to be out a little bit, that sounds a lot. That sounds kind of long. Just knowing how you guys are.
Like, are you potentially bracing for more bad news when the doctors do more exploration of the area that was injured?
No, I don't think so. I think week to week is pretty accurate. We'll
So maybe next week.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
to me, it sounds like
you're gonna.
No, to me, it sounds like this, Coach. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. You're going to wait a full week, and then you'll run it. Maybe see if he can do some light skating, put him through some paces, and if he's not ready, then you wait another week. Like, is that close?
Yeah, and I just think our doctors want to see him, want to assess the injury, and then we'll go from there. I don't think anybody wants to come out and say, hey, it's going to be this, this, and this. I think we just want to make sure that everything is accurate and anything that's put out there isn't just hearsay or just.
Can we rule things out, Coach? Did he tear his ACL?
Oh, he definitely didn't tear his ACL. That wouldn't be week to week.
Can you at least say he didn't tear his ACL?
Oh my gosh, you guys are killing me this morning.
Can you say he didn't tear his ACL?
I can tell you that. 100% he didn't tear his ACL. Here's a question. This I think you can answer if you don't want to. There's some rumor that there might be like a break of something, and there's other rumors that there might be sort of a sprain/tear.
Where are these coming from? I love this.
I don't know.
Where does it come from?
I don't know. Somebody said he had a source that there was a little broken something.
Oh, jeez. We'll have an update, and it'll get out there as soon as possible.
All right, so let's talk about the team. obviously that line has been amazing. Dylan Strome is top 5 in points, largely because of a ton of assists to Ovi. What's going to become of that first line without Ovi in there?
Yeah, we're sort of in the works as we speak of trying to work our way through that and see what that's going to look like. Whether it's we have some options. We're going to have to make a recall, so someone will come up from Hershey, and we've got some guys that are in our lineup that potentially can move up there. What I can tell you is this: is we're trying to balance. Okay, so Stromer and Pro have been playing real well. Obviously, O is a huge loss inside of our lineup right now for the time being. So what you're evaluating as a coach is someone that can go on that line and hopefully continue to produce and play well with Stromer and Pro. And then the other side of the coin is you've got some other lines that are going, so you don't want to disrupt chemistry there, or you want to try to have as minimal disruption in chemistry. So that's what we're trying to weigh. Like, is it Mangiapane? Is it, Taylor Radish, who's been solid on that fourth line playing right wing? Is it a call-up player? Like, that's what we're trying to weigh. And what are the effects of moving someone off a different line to play with Stromer?
So, Coach Carves, part of what sucks about the Ovi injury is it overshadows what an awesome road trip you guys had out west. I mean, that was not an easy trip for you guys. You had 3 games in 4 nights, including the back-to-back with Vegas and Utah. And I'm guessing you had to be really pleased with the response, because I know that you were not happy with the way the team played for the last 20 or 30 minutes of the Leafs game here at Capital One. So they really kind of got everything together, and they were dialed in and focused on that road trip out west.
Yeah, the Colorado game after the Toronto game was really a disappointing game for our team, and was really proud of the way the guys responded. A really hard place to play, Mile High, Denver, just all the elements of playing on the road there, but also their team is arguably one of the top teams in the National Hockey League with a ton of firepower. So, and they also got a few guys back for that game, Nikushkin and a couple other, Druin and Miles Wood. So they were all loaded up, ready to go. So great response. And then to go to Vegas, we'd never won there as an organization in the regular season, had never won a game there. So we liked a lot of our game there. And then to win the back-to-back in Salt Lake City was huge. Now, I will say, like, we scored. We did a real good job, and we getting up in games and sort of protecting leads, but it did put us back on our heels. So hopefully can just fix a few things process-wise and try to continue to control play and make sure that we're going in the right direction for these next 2 home games we got.
So, Coach, in the Utah game, the disallowed Carly goal, I thought that was a joke of a call with the goalie interference call on Mikey. So for people, the people that didn't watch it, didn't see it, so you call for a review, and this is news to me, that if your challenge is unsuccessful, then you're assessed a 2-minute delay of game penalty? I mean, that, to me, that is just an outrage. Like, why would you get penalized for just wanting to see if the goal should have been allowed? I want to fire off an angry email to somebody.
Yeah, they put that in a few years back because they just want to deter you and want you to be sure that you're willing to challenge a play, because if not, you're going to go on the penalty kill. So that came into play for sure in the decision-making process of whether to challenge it. I thought it was worth it at the time when we waited, and I even called a timeout just to give us a little bit more time to look at some different angles and to think the decision through as much as we possibly could and give ourselves a little bit of extra time. And at 3-1, I felt like that goal goes in 4-1. That puts us in a really good spot to end the game right there. 4-1, you go up 3, you should be able to close that out. And then if we are unsuccessful, because it's so hard, these challenges, it's literally, we look at them every day from around the league. It's a coin flip. Like some we do like a blind, those, you ever seen like the blind Coca-Cola, Pepsi?
Sure, taste test.
Yeah.
we show a goal and it's like, you got to vote. Like, was this called no goal or goal? And it's like split down the middle on a ton of these. Like, it's just so hard to call. So anyways, we just felt like in that moment, it was worth the coin flip, and then we're going to kill the penalty. So there was 30 seconds left in the period. So, okay, if we can get through that, then it starts in mid-30. We felt good about our penalty kill that day. That night, you don't want to have to kill that penalty, but I felt like the reward outweighed the risk in that moment to try to challenge it.
Talking to Coach Spencer Carbery, the Washington Capitals off to a 13-4-1 start, winning 75% of their games. Number one, first place in the Eastern Conference. So you've had this success on the road this year, particularly killing off power plays. I think you've killed off 22 out of 23 power plays on the road. Now you have a couple home games coming up. Talk about Colorado and New Jersey coming up Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah, the stretch doesn't get any easier with the two home games. Then we go on the road down to Florida, which both those teams are playing really well. So we'll just sort of focus short term. Little 2-game homestand, Colorado, New Jersey. Colorado, we know exactly what they're all about and the strengths of their group and how big of a challenge that'll be. And then we'll move on and finish off the mini homestand with Saturday night at Jersey, who we've seen a bunch already this year, including in the preseason.
Coach Carbs, I remember a few years ago, I would look longingly at Mikey's numbers when he was with the London Knights in juniors and hoping he might come close to those numbers with the Caps. He had a 72 and a 102-point season there. He's a point-plus per game guy through 18 with 19 points. I mean, what a breakout campaign he's putting together this season.
I love it. A little London Knights drop right there.
Sure, love it. Love that, right?
Oh, yeah. He's been fantastic this year, elevated his game, scoring, doing a ton of things without the puck. I've been really, really impressed and happy for him, too, because he's put a lot of work in, and it hasn't been we always, when players get to this level and they start to have some success like Mikey is, you just think like it was just smooth sailing to get here. And he's had a ton of adversity, ton of obstacles, sent back to the minors, all these different things. Oh, he'll never be a point producer in the NHL. He's a third line. And he's just continued to not prove people wrong, but just achieve more. And it's nice to see him having so much success individually as well as being a huge part of our team this year.
All right, Coach, one last one. You wouldn't say whether it was an ACL, MCL?
You're circling back, JP? What are we doing?
We're going back to the injury report. I love it.
MCL is possible. ACL is not possible.
Don't you love all these amateur doctors over here?
I mean, if it was ACL, it'd be up for the year. I mean,
I'm just trying to get his reaction. Bone bruise?
I wish it was just a bone bruise.
Listen, I think it's somewhat. I mean, even though he says he'll be out a little bit, that sounds like a long time. But then when you said they're gonna test him,
what would sound like a short time? Because he did use the words a little bit.
It's just the way he said it.
I know.
Don't look at me as like.
I'm not saying you're a doctor, but
did we find the audio?
By the way, but when you said, "Yeah, you want to hear the audio? Do you have it, Valdez?" Good. I want to vindicate Valdez so you can have it. Here you go.
Ovi never gets injured. Go look at his numbers. Go look at the games played.
I'd rather have. See, say it one more time for Coach.
Ovi never gets injured. Go look at his numbers. Go look at the games played.
That was the day
Coach,
of.
This is my personal apocalypse. You know that.
That was the day of.
Day of.
Good stuff.
I apologize for putting that out into the universe. I may have erred.
So, but here's the final word on it, and then we're gonna let you go. Don't panic, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's he. This isn't something where his season is ending. It's week to week, and there'll be an update coming soon.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Hey,
Appreciate it,
Coach. Will you send Tom Wilson down to the station to punch cakes in the stomach?
Good idea. Good idea.
I guess
you got to take your beating.
I would take that penance, I guess.
You would take that beating.
I mean, it would be an honor to
you and McBain
to take one in the tummy from Willie. I don't want one in the face, but maybe in the tummy.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, you guys have a great week.
You too.
All right,
Thank you for being a good sport.